We have Shaman. Starting it off here with the Farseer, which is Restoration and Elemental. Now you have a lot more experience on this, so we'll see what's happening. Natural Harmony now reduces the cooldown of Nature's Guardian by 15 seconds, was 10 seconds. I'm guessing they're trying to buff Farseer. Was anybody playing Farseer?
Farseer was way below Stormbringer.
It was shit, right? Okay. Nature Harmony now increases the maximum health restore of Nature's Guardian by 10%. This was 5%.
Big buff.
Fixed an issue causing Downpour to not cause Ancestors to use Chain Heal. I don't know about this bug. Now, for Elemental, Farseer's Elemental Blast damage increased by 20%, and for Restoration, Hydro Bubble absorption increased by 200%. Okay, so this was really shit.
Yeah, they needed a buff.
I think, like, in terms of like fantasy, Farseer always felt like some cool ass theme for Shamans. But
I don't think we've had, because I always remember this from
wasn't Disability in Warcraft 3, dude?
It was Thrall was a Farseer.
Yeah.
He wasn't called a Shaman. He was called a Farseer. But the way that they've implemented this in the War Within is whenever you engage with the mechanic, you summon a little ancestor. It's like a little ghost. They've improved its visual, and you actually see it.
Little?
Well, it's littler than you are.
I don't want like a small ass pet.
But the problem was, no. They just spawn and they just like do their thing. But they were kind of unimpactful and uneventful, and I don't think these address particularly the power of the ancestors, because it really would feel good, even if it's just like a visual thing, if it's like a passive thing. Oh, I've summoned my granddad, and my granddad is gonna chain heal you now. But I guess we'll probably see exactly how much tuning it is. But Farseer at the very least definitely needed more tuning, more buffs.
Shall we talk about Stormbringer, everyone's favorite?
Sure.
I don't know if it is everyone's favorite, but a lot of people were playing it. This is Elemental and Enhancement, so it has to be huge.
Yeah.
Okay, Arc Discharge damage bonus decreased to 40%. This was 75%.
Yep.
Nature's Fury now properly modifies critical chance of Tempest. Awakening Storms is now properly modified by Stormcaller and Nature's Fury. For Elemental, Maelstrom spending requirement to activate Tempest decreased to 300. This was 400.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Arc Discharge was a big part of their damage. That's what buffed Chain Lightning to actually deal a lot of damage, and it was a choice node. It was something that you would never pick because Arc Discharge was just way better from what we've seen so far. So I guess it kind of makes sense that a nerf. It's a pretty big nerf, but... Maybe this one is needed.
Do you think Enhancement will have a better time with this? Let's see. Enhancement. So, Tempest damage reduced by 25%. Ascendant's initial damage is now properly modified by Stormcaller. Tempest Strike is now properly modified by Stormcaller and Nature's Fury. Thorum's Invocation now properly limits Tempest damage to be kept at a maximum of 5 Maelstrom weapon stacks worth, rather than potentially up to 10 when using Wind Strike.
This is a very, very hard town to wrap your head around. So what Thorum Invocation does is makes your spenders actually consume up to 10 Maelstrom, right? And whenever you proc Ascendants from deep-rooted elements, or even by using the Ascendants, your Wind Strike, or this is what made Thorum's Invocation, your Wind Strike would actually would consume your Maelstrom weapon and cast the most recent spender that you did cast it. And if you cast it like, I would imagine a Tempest had 5 Maelstrom charges, and you'd had 10 when you used Wind Strike, it would probably cause the Tempest to hit as if it had 10 Maelstrom. So that would have been probably a big part of why Enhancement did that much damage.
But what about Totemic, man? Because Totemic was the shit, and now it looks...
was a shit. I couldn't play it for like a month.
Let's see if you can play it now. Enhancement. Searing Volley damage reduced by 50%. Searing Bolt damage reduced by 50%. Surging Bolt is now properly modified by Nature's Fury. Searing Bolt is now properly modified by Fire and Ice. Searing Volley is now... I said this already. Tremor is now properly modified by Fire and Ice. Okay, so you have two major nerfs here, Searing Volley and Searing Bolt.
So basically the totem that you spawned with buffers to certain elemental spells that you would use afterwards, from what I recall. And we couldn't actually test it properly because it was like unavailable for I think 3 weeks straight or more. And they've enabled it, I think, last week, so people have been using it and probably was doing a little bit too more damage. We could have only played it on Restoration Shaman. So I'm guessing this just puts it more in tune with
Speaking
Stormbringer.
about Restoration Shaman, let's see what's happening to its Totemic situation. Earth Surge now increases healing taken by 15%. This was 10%. Downpour healing decreased by 20% and mana cost reduced by 20%. Efficiency. Fixed an issue causing chain heals from Totemic Rebound to reset the stored healing value of Cloudburst. Fixed an issue causing reactivity to not increase Cloudburst healing stored. Fixed an issue, there's a lot of fixing the issues. Causing Surging Totem to stop maintaining healing rain when Totemic project is used on a transport. So I'm guessing rest domains who played Totemic kind of know about these issues, hopefully, and they're happy for fixing them.
I mean, I don't think we're any strangers to a lot of bugs affecting a lot of the hero towns for a lot of classes.
Hello, rogues.
We are still waiting for some of them to be addressed. Restoration is probably, I think, the healer considered to have the most throughput out of all of the healers. So not seeing any significant nerfs kind of makes Restoration Shamans happy, I suppose, whenever they're going into...
They got their shit fixed.
Yeah, so at least 3 that we know of.
All right. Now, for the actual specs in DD,
there's so many.
There's a lot of elementals complained that they were killed. They were thrown to the trash. Let's see if that is the case. So, bam! There you go. Flame has some shit in his throat.
I changed cigarettes.
All right, let's start off with elemental. Lightning bolt damage increased by 3%. That's huge. That's man.
Needed.
Lava burst damage reduced by 25%. Elemental blast damage reduced by 25%. Earthquake damage reduced by 15%. Flame shock damage reduced by 15%. Whoa! Thunderstrike ward damage increased by 150%. Splinter Elements now grants 10% haste, it used to be 20%. Power of the Maelstrom now has a 60% chance to trigger, this was 25, this is a buff. Liquid Magma Totem now has a 30-second cooldown, was a minute. Pretty good. I love
it's good. It's spreading the flame shocks.
Okay, Ice Fury damage increased by 85%. Earthen Rage damage increased by 60%. Additional lava bursts from Primordial Wave now deal 50% of normal damage. This was 80% initially. Resolved in, okay, there's more issues here, I'm guessing, so no more.
You also skipped Earth Shock damage increased by 25%, probably because people would be defaulting into Elemental Blast way too much, so maybe they just want to balance that.
I missed it. Sorry.
But overall, the nerfs are not that big.
Well, I've seen some nerfs in one side, but some buffs in some other side. So
yeah,
it feels laid out.
I feel like the Lava Burst playstyles for Elemental Shaman just put you into heavy Lava Burst damage profiles, which I guess maybe that's the whole point, but the tier said that Elemental has now just focusing you on a lot of Lava Burst damage just made the playstyle way more boring. Maybe more people agree. Earthshock being buffed might just make it so that Elemental Blast is not mandatory, but they did say that they buffed Elemental Blast just for Farseer by 25%, so maybe they don't want Elemental Blast to be used for Stormbringer if it was used. Thunderstrike ward damage being increased by 150%, that's like nothing, because this used to either be bugged or do almost no damage, and 150%, I don't know if it's even enough. I guess maybe it's a start.
We need to test it out.
For sure.
Okay, there's a lot of issues being fixed. I'm going to go through those. I'm pretty sure elemental mains know about these. Enhancement, splintered elements now grants 10% haste. This was 20%, so same thing as elemental. Restoration, all healing reduced by 5%.
Oh, there we go.
So it was the throughput king, right? Spouting spirits healing reduced by 35%. Ooh, Ancestral Awakening now heals for 25/50% of the amount healed. This was initially 15/30%. It's a buff. Fixed an issue causing another issue. Okay, so a little bit of a nerf.
I don't even know if Spouting Spirits was that great. I think if I'm not mistaken, that is the whenever you pop Spirit Link, it heals some people. Yes.
Yeah. Do we have any Patricks in the chat?
Okay. Well, that's great. I suppose Spirit Link is already a pretty strong healing cooldown, so maybe they're just wanting to tune in that, and just having all the healing reduced by 5% is not a big deal.
All right,
I don't think.
But overall, is it doom and gloom for shamans? Because I've seen people complaining at least for elemental.
The thing is with elemental is that a lot of the stuff has been nerfed, and not all of it affects your overall throughput the same. Elementals were broken.
I know. That's why I'm asking, because I've seen them.
I think it's fine. If it's a little bit too serious, they're probably gonna come back with some tuning, probably smaller buffs, like 1-3% buffs. But I don't think this is as bad as people complain, considering that mage got bigger.